Hey there, Central Ohio. I'm 10 Weather Impact meteorologist Michael Behrens here with you. We're doing a special weekend edition of our 10 Weather Impact show as we're getting you ready for the snow that has already started to fall across Central Ohio and will continue tonight, leading to a tricky Monday morning commute. That's why we have a 10 TV Weather Impact Alert Day in place for Monday morning, and we're going to be here to give you the latest forecast on what to expect through the rest of tonight into Monday and answer any questions you might have about the forecast as well. We are streaming this broadcast on our 10 TV Facebook page. There you can leave your questions in the comments section. If you're watching on 10 TV Plus or through YouTube, you can text us your questions 614-460-3345. That is the number to send us your questions throughout this broadcast tonight, and hopefully we can get all of the questions you might have ahead of the weather answered before you head out the door tomorrow. So let's go ahead and dive right into what we're expecting across the region. First, the reason again for that 10 TV Weather Impact Alert Day is the snow that will be continuing through tonight and into your Monday, making for again a tricky Monday morning commute across the region as that snowfall is expected to stick to at least bridges and overpasses, and some accumulation is expected with it. That's why we have the concern in place. It's the first snow of the season. It'll likely lead to slowdowns and slick spots out there during the Monday morning commute. Additionally to that, we could have occasional heavier bands embedded inside the overall snow system. Now, what that means is not necessarily that you'll see much more accumulation, but you'll see a bigger reduction in visibility. We could quickly lose visibility inside some heavy snow bands tomorrow, and that too creates a danger for that morning commute, but especially bridges, overpasses, elevated surfaces. Those are the ones to watch as temperatures drop below freezing tonight. As far as winter alerts, here's what the map looks like right now. The closest alerts to us here in the 10 TV viewing area are up in Mansfield, and those stretch back up all the way through Cleveland and up through Ashtabula County into northeast Ohio. That's where we have the risk for heavier lake effect bands. The same back out toward Indiana, winter storm warnings off Lake Michigan. And actually, it's some of that lake moisture that's going to flow down into Ohio and really bring us our concerns for wintry weather overnight as well. As far as what we've seen with the snow so far, the first band starting to wrap up. This is I-71 Park Road. You can see it's definitely wet outside, but so far haven't had any major impacts to those road surfaces. It's the same as you head out to US 23 and State Road 762. We were seeing a little while ago I-70 at 310, where we still had some flakes coming down on camera. Right now, looks like that has wrapped up. Still, though, wet roads out there. And the good news is, for now, road temperatures above freezing, which means we're not getting any icy spots at the moment. And we'll see none of the snow sticking, at least for now. But this is the big picture on the system, and I want to draw your attention out to Lake Michigan. Look at that snow banding forming pretty much all the way down the lake. That's what we call fetch when we're talking about lake effect snow. The more the wind travels along the lake, the longer the fetch is, the more moisture it picks up, and the more impact it will deliver once it pushes on land. And we're already seeing that heavy snow band push into Indiana, and we're expecting that to continue down into portions of Ohio, not just tonight, but into tomorrow as well. And we're already seeing some of that snowfall work its way through Fort Wayne and back into some of our western counties. The first blast of wintry weather earlier was really just the appetizer, the one that has the potential for accumulation yet to come as we head through tonight. As far as what the radar shows right now, we are still picking up light flurries, light sprinkles here across Franklin County. You can see it kind of flip back and forth between the bluish whites and the greens. That's because, again, we're not quite to freezing yet. You can see it down there in the bottom of your screen. Our temperature 33 degrees. So we're just kind of on that border between rain and snow right now. Same continues as you work your way down through Lancaster and toward Logan. While it's showing up as all snow, it's likely coming down as a mix. That continues down toward Athens as well. Up to the north, more likely that this is falling as snow, light snow from Marion down to Delaware. As you head up into northeast Ohio, those counties that have the winter weather advisories, definitely looking at more snowfall snowfall for you guys as of right now. And then again, some of those really heavy bands back out toward Fort Wayne and up in towards South Bend, Northwest Indiana. Look how dark and vibrant those blues are. That is very heavy snow coming down at this hour. And again, some of that snowfall is heading our way. Taking a look toward downtown, we're seeing again that mixed light, misty, flaky snow coming down, not really sticking as of yet. Temperature again, just too warm for now, but that will change as we head through tonight. We're going to watch those temperatures very closely. 34 where we're sitting right now. Winds out of the west-northwest, and these temperatures only expected to continue downward as we head through the rest of the evening and into the overnight and early Monday. In fact, we're already to freezing in Mount Gilead. We're below freezing in Bucyrus. At the freezing mark, Bellefontaine, Urbana, sitting at 32. The temperatures, again, for now, holding to keep most of the roads all right, but those temperatures are expected to fall. Next 12 hours out there will push those temperatures downward into the low 30s and upper 20s by early tomorrow. By that point, we've transitioned the mix to completely snow. You can see we've got a little bit of a gap here between rounds of snowfall where we're quiet through about the 10 o'clock midnight hour, and then we pick up that snowfall intensity again, unfortunately, right in time for the morning commute. And that's just one of the reasons, again, we have that 10 TV weather impact alert day in place as we head into tomorrow. We'll watch another temperature closely as well. That is the road temperature. We have a network of road sensors here across central Ohio, and they give us insight to how much snow could be impacting the roads. We head down toward Lancaster. They are cold. We're down to about 38 degrees, but that's still above freezing, so no problems there for the moment. Same here in Franklin County. We're sitting with road temperatures hanging around in the 40s. The coldest spot we've seen so far has really been out to the west, out towards Springfield, where that gets to about a 35-degree temperature. And again, only going to get colder from here. Bridges and overpasses are the big concern as we continue to monitor these temperatures across central Ohio. Heading up 71, another cold temperature up there toward the Mansfield area, or just to the south of the Mansfield area, that is, with a temperature of a 36.5. So again, we'll watch that carefully heading through tonight. The snow chances over the next 12 hours right now at kind of their low point. They'll pick back up as we head through the overnight hours and into the early part of tomorrow. And then we'll kind of stick with snow chances throughout the first half of the day. I think we'll get a break in the afternoon, but even then we'll still see another round come our way by the evening. So let's go ahead and work through this hour by hour to get you ready. We're in that low period right now of those snow bands. You can see quiet conditions expected for the next couple of hours. But as we head past midnight, that's when we could see that next band of snow start to work its way into central Ohio. Scattered bands of snowfall will continue from there through the morning commute. This is 4 a.m. We're still seeing plenty of snowfall at this point, pushing its way through central Ohio. Those snow showers continue through the 6, 7 o'clock hour in the morning. Once we get past about 7, 8 a.m., models have been consistently pushing the heavier bands to the south of Columbus, but we could still be dealing with impacts for our viewers in those southern counties through the later part of the morning commute. And by the time we get to the midday again, that's when we're expecting a lull in the activity, and we'll see a quiet period into the start of the afternoon. We're not totally done with the system by this point. We're expecting additional bands of snow to come in as we head toward Monday evening and Monday night. Some of these will continue even past midnight into early Tuesday. But as far as accumulation potential goes, I think most of it should be done by this point. We're not going to add all that much more snowfall with any bands that come late Monday and into early Tuesday. And Tuesday, the morning commute snow-wise should be much better, but we've gone ahead and issued another 10 TV weather impact alert day for Tuesday morning. And the reason for that is going to be wind chill. While we're not seeing activity here on the hour by hour, we are expecting winds up there that could gust to 20-25 miles per hour, and that will push wind chill values down into the teens. So it's going to be a cold morning at the bus stop as you head out there on Tuesday. So let's talk snow totals here. Between now and 7 a.m., we could pick up between a dusting and about an inch to inch and a half in some of the hardest hit areas by tomorrow morning. That continues down to the south. We could even see a little bit of increased areas of snow accumulation in some of those southern hilly counties where you get a little bit of upslope forcing that could make a heavier snow total up closer to 2 inches in some of those spots. The other spots we're concerned about where those lake effect bands come in, mostly western Ohio, where we could get some higher snow totals locally in there. But overall, we're thinking about a ½ inch to 2 inches in terms of snowfall expectation here in central Ohio. But I want to set the stage with this. Not all of that snowfall that comes down is going to pile up, and especially not pile up on the roads. As you saw earlier, the road temperature is just too warm for all of that to stick, but what will fall is likely to accumulate on things such as cars, decks, bridges, overpasses, grassy areas, elevated surfaces. That's where you'll find the highest numbers. If you're looking for this to pile up in parking lots and roads, just too warm, a lot of that will start to melt. So we're not going to see all of this come down in one spot and stick. And again, we'll add a little bit to that as we head into early Tuesday. Our official forecast here at 10 TV, we're thinking we're going to see some of those lighter totals the further east that you go, about a ½ inch to 2 inches in some of these more central counties. Again, 2 would be on the high end. And again, don't expect that on a paved surface, grassy, elevated surface, bridges, overpasses, cars, decks, things like that. Southern counties, again, about a ½ inch to 1.5 inches overall. We're not going to see a lot of deep spreads in the snowfall, but again, where we do get those snows to accumulate, slick spots going to be a concern for tomorrow morning. We'll talk about the confidence meter here in terms of snowfall from this event. Trace snowfalls, dusting amounts, we're pretty sure that's going to happen as the system pushes through. Getting over an inch, that is a possibility, but kind of goes about 50-50 in terms of where the likelihood is of getting those inch snowfall totals. And once you get higher than that, odds start to decrease. 2 is not impossible. 3 would be a very outlier situation as we see the system push through. Here's a quick look. 10 weather impact 7-day forecast, 2 10 TV weather impact alert days in place. They are both for Monday morning and Tuesday morning. Monday morning again for the snowfall, Tuesday morning for the wind chills out there. And then I got good news for the rest of the week. Once we get past this weather system here to kick things off, we really get a lot better conditions pushing into central Ohio. The temperatures are back up into the 50s by Wednesday and Thursday. The breezes start to settle down by Thursday afternoon. We even climb back up toward the 60s by next weekend in time for some rain by next Sunday. And now we got a Buckeye game out there Saturday. And the good news for that forecast is looking pretty nice across central Ohio as we head into next weekend. We'll be watching that carefully, of course, but right now not looking to stay with this cold weather through the end of the forecast. And once we get past Monday and Tuesday, things will be improving around central Ohio. Of course, now we got you up to date on the forecast. We do want to take a few minutes here to answer some questions that you guys at home may have. Remember, you can ask questions through the Facebook page or by texting us 614-460-3345. I'll back my graphics back up here to the beginning. We'll get to the radar. We'll leave that up for you guys while I take a look at our chat and see what kind of questions you guys might have. In the Facebook chat, see, I just lost the comments there. Katie asking, do we have school tomorrow? I would say yes. This is not going to be a school canceling amount of snowfall across the region. The roads are just too warm for that kind of impact. In terms of will there be someone that might issue a delay? It's a possibility, but I wouldn't count on it. My prediction for tomorrow is that school will be in session, so plan on that. Jillian asking, what time is the bigger portion of snow coming in? The heavier portion of snow we're expecting to come in after midnight tonight and last through about, say, 9-10 tomorrow morning. It's not going to be the heaviest snowfall everywhere all the time, but that's when we're expecting some of those heavier bands to come in. They should start to push their way out by the midday, and then we enter that lull before we get a little bit more snowfall as we head toward tomorrow evening. Let me see if I can get any more questions here in the chat. Pam asking about Piketon. Men's asking about Blacklick snow totals. We'll go back to the snow total map here real quick. This is not going to have a big spread across central Ohio. We're talking fairly uniform totals. On the low end, about a ½ inch, maybe a dusting on the extreme low end. On the high end, we're talking about 2 inches. And again, keep in mind, this is the snow that's going to fall. Where you would find those totals is going to be on things like elevated surfaces, decks, patio furniture, vehicles, grassy surfaces. Is this going to be 2 inches on the road in any one spot? No, it's just too warm for that. Bridges, overpasses, though, they could turn slick. They could turn icy with the snow sticking there better than to any other surfaces. So those are the concerns for tomorrow. And then periods of reduced visibility from any of the heavier snowfall. Those are also concerns as we head toward tomorrow. Check our text line here. We do have a text in here as well. Asking about the east side of Newark. This is Austin. What time will the heavier band be near you? So we'll go back to our hour-by-hour forecast here. We're in kind of that lull period right now. You can see things kind of picking up in Newark on the other side of midnight. This particular model showing heavier banding from just after 1 a.m., potentially all the way through about 6 or 7 in the morning tomorrow. And again, this is just one model, and we're tracking pretty narrow bands of snow here. So don't get hung up too much on the placement of this. Kind of falls into that same pattern we were talking about earlier. It's really going to be from largely about that after midnight hour through about 9-10 in the morning. The later in the morning you get, the further south we're expecting some of those heavier bands to go. So that kind of gives you a good time frame as to what we're looking at with this particular system. Not seeing any other questions for now in the chat. If you guys have posted a question and maybe it went off my screen here as I kind of swiped it for a second, feel free to repost it again in the chat if I haven't addressed it. We'll come back around. We'll try to answer a few more of those in just a moment. But I do want to get you outside the forecast as we generally make sure you're prepared for not just this snow, but the winter season ahead as well. Ohio's Department of Transportation, they've also been getting ready for this winter system to make sure our roads are safe. We'll take a closer look at what drivers can expect. For weeks now, ODOT has been checking their equipment and stocking supplies to ensure there's enough plow drivers on hand statewide, as ODOT oversees roughly 1,700 trucks and 3,000 drivers. Matt Brunning, spokesperson for ODOT, says while most areas will only see light snow from the system, Northeast Ohio could get hit especially hard. He is urging drivers to stay alert as crews will be out and about all over the state, though, through this storm.
The biggest thing is to just give us room to work. That is so important. We were hit 54 times in our snow plows last winter. We want to make sure that stays at 0 for this winter. And that starts with all of us as drivers out there, giving these plow truck drivers room to work.
And Brunning wants to remind drivers to plan ahead as well with that snowfall arriving during our morning commute. Allow extra time. Make sure you clean off your vehicles. And of course, watch us here live tomorrow morning starting at 5 a.m. on 10 TV. Our TV coverage goes through 7. We'll have extended coverage as we do every morning on 10 TV Plus through 9 a.m. We're also making sure that you keep your vehicle ready for the coming winter cold. 10 TV's Catherine Simon explains how to prepare your car now to stay safe on the road all winter long.
When it comes to driving in the winter, preparation is the name of the game.
It's a good idea to take a look at some of the basics.
Luke Walker of Luke's Auto says one of the most common problems drivers run into in the winter months is battery issues.
When a storm hits that 32-degree mark, it takes about 1/3 more power for your vehicle to start.
Walker says it's also a good time to check your vehicle's fluids, belt, hoses, and tires.
Once snow hits, if the tire's tread is worn down, then you're going to have harder time controlling the vehicle.
Morgan Dean of AAA says to get together an emergency kit for your vehicle. Things like extra warm clothes or a blanket, a first aid kit, a small toolkit, and jumper cables.
Kitty litter or sand or traction mats in case you're stuck on the side of the road or stuck in the snow.
Dean says you can safely warm up your vehicle, but newer cars don't need too much time to heat up before you go.
Today, with all the modern technology on our vehicles and fuel injectors and everything else out there, we really only need about 30 seconds to get that vehicle warmed up and ready to go on the road, even on a cold day.
And make sure you're ready to drive before the first storm.
Get it into someone, have it checked out. Temperature extremes, whether it's really hot or really cold, can often cause a part that's on the verge of going bad to go ahead and fully go bad.
AAA also says it's a good idea to have some extra food and water in your car in case you get stuck. Have some for everyone you're driving with, including kids and pets. Catherine Simon, 10 TV News.
Thanks to Catherine for that report. We do have another question here in the chat I want to go ahead and answer for you guys. This one came from Kai Noble asking about how bad do I think the roads will be around 5 a.m. What I think your concern is going to be is those bridges and overpasses. Those are the spots where we could start to see some slick spots forming. By 5 a.m., we're expecting those temperatures to be down, if not to freezing, below freezing as snowfall continues through the overnight. While I think most roads will be fine, if you get under an especially heavy band, you might see a little bit of snow accumulation on some road surfaces. But in terms of will they be worst of the worst winter, I don't think so. Many road surfaces are going to stay warm tonight. We'll see melting. It's really just the bridges and overpasses that will be the biggest concern. If you guys are just joining us here now live, we've been updating you on the latest winter weather conditions. This broadcast here, we've got about 9 minutes or so left in it. So if you joined late or you're just joining us now, I do want to go ahead and get you up to date on the latest forecast. So we're going to start over with our snowfall predictions here and run you through everything you need to know to get ready for tomorrow morning. 10 TV Weather Impact Alert Day in place for Monday morning as those snow conditions are expected to continue here across central Ohio. We will see snowy weather between now and that Monday morning commute. That's kind of the big concern here is the timing that we're expecting with this system as we see those snow conditions come their way into central Ohio through tonight. Accumulation a possibility, especially bridges, overpasses, elevated surfaces. Make sure you watch for slick spots out there across central Ohio tonight and into tomorrow morning. That's when we could see that snowfall create the most hazardous conditions out there on the roads. In terms of what we're looking at with the snowfall alerts in place right now, we haven't really seen much in the way of alert activity except for Northeast Ohio. This is where we're expecting heavier lake effect enhanced snowfall to come down. That does get as close to us as about Mansfield, but other than that, no alerts in place right now. Again, a lot of melting is going to come with the snow, but because it's the first storm of the year and because bridges and overpasses, drivers may not be prepared for them to be slick tomorrow morning or see the reduced visibility from the snow. That's why we have the 10 TV Weather Impact Alert Day in place. Here's a look at roads right now across central Ohio. Many roads out there are wet. We're not seeing what looks to be any kind of real snow sticking at the moment. Maybe a light dusting on the grass out there at State Road 762 and US 23, but that would be about it for now. Other roadways you can see moving along just fine. A few flakes out there from time to time on I-70 at 310. 270 Roberts Road bridge out there. You can see not cold enough for anything to stick to it yet. But again, as we head through tonight and into tomorrow, that is expected to change. We're also going to see a heavier band of snow form tonight and push its way toward us off of Lake Michigan. You can see those lake effect bands forming far northern portions of the lake offshore from Ludington there. And then that wind stretches all the way down the lake, picks up a lot of moisture, and it's dumping that right now into northwestern portions of Indiana. But that's expected to start to push our way as we head through tonight and bring us some impacts as well. Right now, we're kind of in the lull. We've seen the first wave push through, minimal impacts from that as expected, but the heavier wave comes next, and that'll be the one that does more concern for the morning tomorrow. Right now, we're seeing still a light mix of some light snow, light rain across central Ohio. Our temperatures still above freezing, especially areas south of I-70. A light rain snow mix from Lancaster to Logan. I know it's showing as all snow here on the radar, but I would be doubtful of that. Same out toward Washington Courthouse. I would be doubtful that this is all snow either, likely to be some kind of a mix. The further north of I-70 you go, this is where it's more snow, but light flurry activity more than anything else from Marion to Delaware. A lot of I-71 pretty quiet right now. Snow bands up in northeast Ohio will intensify tonight. And then, of course, we've got what's coming down as more substantial snow back out toward the west out of Fort Wayne, working its way into northwest Ohio. Heavy bands in Indiana right now. And again, a lot of that moisture heading our way. So we want to make sure that you're prepared for that morning commute. Temperatures out the door still above freezing for now, which is good news. It's going to keep the roads okay for the time being. Temperature 34 out there here in Columbus, but we have seen some spots get to freezing already up toward Mount Gilead, Bucyrus, Bellefontaine now down to 31. Areas starting to drop down into those freezing temperatures. So we will have to stay aware of that change as we head through tonight. Our temperature forecast over the next 12 hours expected to push down into the low 30s and upper 20s across central Ohio, right in time for that second band of snow to start picking up. You can see snowfall increasing in activity through the overnight hours and into the early part of the day tomorrow. And that's when we could start to see some things start to stick. We're watching road temperatures just as carefully as the air temperatures. Right now around Franklin County, still in the 40s. Down toward Lancaster, we're seeing some cooler spots down to about 38 as you head northwest of New Lexington there, sort of southeast of Buckeye Lake, down to about 37, and then also back out towards Springfield down to 35. So we are getting some colder spots, but for right now, everything that hits the road really going to still melt. Over the next couple hours, as snow chances increase and temperatures fall, it comes just in time for the morning commutes. We want to make sure that you're ready for that. We'll go ahead and show you the latest hour-by-hour forecast here and walk you through what comes our way heading into Monday. Snowfall, again, pushing into the region as we head through the rest of tonight. We'll start to see things pick up again after midnight, probably not until about, say, 1, 2 a.m. in many spots. But this will be some heavier snow banding coming through as we see that lake enhancement make its way into central Ohio. This continues through the morning commute. Here's 5 a.m. We're seeing some pretty good snow bands across central Ohio. It's not going to be snowing heavy everywhere all at once, so this isn't going to be that type of snowfall, but you will come across bands of heavier snow, bands of low visibility, and again, bridges and overpasses. Those are going to be the big concern for accumulation tonight and into tomorrow morning. As we head past 6, 7 o'clock, the heavier bands start to make their way further to the south, but we're still dealing with it here in the 10 TV viewing area through about 9, 10 a.m. tomorrow. We get into the midday, we see a break in the snowfall. We get a little quiet time here in the afternoon. Temperatures get a little above freezing. Anything that has become icy will probably melt and become much less icy in quick order. But as we head into Monday evening, additional rounds of snowfall come through, but I'm not expecting those to be nearly as heavy. Impacts will be minimal, and they should be gone by Tuesday morning. But Tuesday morning, we do have another 10 TV weather impact alert day in place, this time for wind chills. As the system exits, wind chills expected to be in the teens by Tuesday morning. We'll show you the snowfall map here one more time as well. By Monday afternoon, most areas will pick up about a ½ inch to 2 inches of snow on the high end. In terms of what sticks, though, don't expect any of those higher totals to stick to road surfaces. They're going to be too warm. A lot of it's going to melt. Grassy surfaces, bridges, overpasses, vehicles, patio furniture, things like that, things that can lose their heat quickly, or where you would see the heaviest snowfall totals come down. And then again, we'll add a little bit more to it as we head into early Tuesday, but not significantly so. Heaviest snowfall totals come from those lake effect bands. That'll be back out toward Indiana and northwestern portions of Ohio. I want to show you the snowfall confidence here as well, because this will give you kind of an idea of what we're looking at when we factor in things like melting and warm surfaces. Do we think we'll get trace amounts of snowfall to dustings? Absolutely. Count on that. Do we think we'll get an inch or more? That's a possibility. Some spots definitely could see that, especially again, elevated surfaces, bridges, overpasses. 2 or more, not out of the question, but not very likely. This starts to get a lot less likely the higher you go on the scale. Most areas, again, ½ inch, 1.5 inches, especially elevated surfaces. That's what we're looking for. 10 weather impact 7-day outlook. 2 10 TV weather impact alert days in place Monday morning, Tuesday morning. Monday mornings for the snow, Tuesday mornings for the wind chill. Temperatures out there in the 20s. We'll see feels like conditions in the teens.